To ensure that reforms take place, to ensure that this instrument is fail-safe and it is the best in the world, you have to question it.
My father's writing isn't such that it needs to be dumbed down, say for folks who are not from the background and they don't know certain terms, they don't know certain ethoses. But at the same time, it's engaging and it tells the story of an army as he has seen it over the last 45 years while wearing the uniform.
Armed forces have to keep pace with times. We have not modernized and kept pace with times. The last major reforms in our army began I should say, in the 80s and were completed by about 1990.
Over the years, matters strategic, geopolitical, he had this ability to break it down and explain stuff to both Shabir and I. That's my brother. And I felt that he could do a lot more. So we began pushing him and saying, you've got to write more often. For me, the key takeaways really have been that there is no substitute for integrity. As an individual, as a person, you have to have integrity. In a place where you have to set an example, you just have to do it by setting an example.
This great quality our army has, that they recognize the real worth of an individual, and even if they don't agree, they don't harm the person. I think these personal qualities of mine and the military ethos, that's what allowed me to be very vocal, to be very critical, and yet also have a relative rise in the armed forces.
I think for me, being an actor was a means to a much bigger end, and it came across as low-hanging fruit because back in the day when you were in Miss India, everybody got offered a film. I chose a certain kind of film to be associated with, and those films were for a certain kind and not the sort of song and dance routine films. And not that I have anything against those films, but that was just not my cup of tea.
I think war should be the last resort. To that extent, our government has followed a pragmatic policy. And this pragmatic policy is, let's not get into a confrontation straight away. Let's not up the ante and escalate the situation. I would say this, that the army is well prepared. We have stopped any further advances of the PLA, and should anything happen, PLA will get a bloody nose, which they will remember, as happened in 1967 at Nathula, and has also happened during Sumdrongchu, and we'll come out as winners. Armed forces want from you good leadership qualities. These qualities that I must list for you are integrity, bearing, and fitness, because they're in the selection board, you're tested for that. Most of us already have these qualities in us, and these qualities are lying latent. So what a person has to do when he's going for the selection board is to bring them to the fore. The selection board also sees, are you a team man? Can you cooperate with others? Similarly, if you're an aspirant for the army, you must think like that when you're preparing, so that you act accordingly. A simple thing is like obeying traffic rules. If you feel that you're going to be a role model, please obey traffic rules.